I'm Duncan Ferguson and you're watching Toffee TV.
Welcome to Toffee TV. It is me, Baz. Match reaction to Everton 2, Chelsea 0 in the FA Cup quarter-final at Goodison Park. What a day. What a performance by Everton. And what a difference a week makes. Last week I was sat here with a full cob on, making West Ham United fans' heads fall off with some comments about the basic style of football that ended up beating Everton that day. Today couldn't have been any further from the truth. Everton were fantastic. A bit frustrating really at the end, because you just think if we played with that conviction and that organisation and that concentration, what could we have achieved this season? But listen, that's for another day. Today is just about enjoying a tremendous performance. I said the other week when the draw was made, I was delighted with this draw because it gives us the opportunity to play in front of our own crowd. You know, Chelsea, it was a big game. It was, the players were going to be up for it. The crowd were going to be up for it. The half-time kick-off slot was perfect for us. And the lads got down to it from the off, you know, the word go. The one change really that I thought was key in the defence was Leighton Baines, and that's not taking anything away from Brian Oviedo, who I think has been really good of late, but Baines was fantastic. Just that experience, just that ability to calm things down with that left foot that he's got, that wand of his, and sporting a nice fresh haircut as well, made a massive difference to us. Tom Cleverley coming in further up the pitch as well, giving us that nice bit of balance, that nice shape, and that little bit of a crier to the referee, which I loved. Just a note on the referee, Michael Oliver, I thought he was fantastic. I never really give referees any kind of praise because I hate most of them. But I thought Michael Oliver in particular was fantastic today. He got most, if not everything right. The Diego Costa sending off was 100% correct. The Gareth Barry sending off was 100% correct. And I thought Michael Oliver, he just refereed it very, very well. It was tetchy at times. It was niggly. And I thought probably the only thing he got wrong was not booking Kennedy for the challenge on Coleman in the first half. But that, you know, splitting hairs, he was magnificent. As for Everton, much better shape than we had last week. The only thing sometimes is Gareth Barry pushes a little bit too far up on those holes, but everyone done the job. You know, Funes Mori last week, Ped gave him a little bit of a kicking on the final word. I thought he was brilliant today. Jagielka was majestic today. Got involved with Costa early on. Got touched tight to him, hit him with a couple of reducers. Let him know he was there. And Everton kind of built from that moment on. And after he hit him with a couple of those reducers, Costa, he didn't like it, did he? He didn't like Gareth Barry getting into him. And he loses his head. For all his ability, Diego Costa, he loses his head. You know, he's got the skill. He scores goals. He plays right on the edge, doesn't he? And I suppose everyone would have expected him to be sent off the way he started the game, and that's what happened later on. I thought in midfield, the first half it was quite even. We had a lot of the ball. I mean, we had the shot on target after about 30 seconds, wasn't it? I think from Tom Cleverley, and then he had another couple of efforts in that first half. We didn't really cause them any problems. They didn't really cause us any problems. It was just a one free kick really from Will.i.am, which Joel touched over the bar. Other than that, it was even without really. It was more of a kind of chess game. It was more of a midfield game. And we needed, in that second half, to try and get Ross on the ball and try and get Romelu Lukaku on the ball, because the pair of them in that first 45, I felt they were just isolated. They were doing things okay, but it was in bits. You know, Aaron Lennon was working hard. He was probably our best player in the first half. He was everywhere. James McCarthy, Gareth Barry worked tirelessly. And I just thought we just looked solid. We looked quite solid against the Chelsea side that, okay, they're not performing at the level that we know they can, but they've still got good players, you know, and it was quite even. The first 15 minutes of the second half, I thought they were on top. I thought they shaded it. They were having more of the ball. Again, though, without really causing too many problems, but there was that one moment when I thought Costa had scored. He made a little run in behind the line, touched the ball beyond Joel, slid it back and expected the net to bustle, but it didn't. It rolled along them, you know, across the face of the goal. Unfortunately for us, it stayed out. You know, and I think from that moment on, the belief was there then that, you know, maybe things were going to go our way. But the goal by Lukaku, I mean, what a goal. What a goal that was. Ross Barkley, lovely little ball in, you know, out to the side. Lukaku's made a great little bend and run across their back line, picks it up. And as he's come inside, I'm thinking, where are you running? And the next minute, just that strength and that power that he's got, shrugged off a couple of players. And then once he's inside the box, they don't want to touch him because he's got that ability, Ron, that close control. He can go either way. Drops, sends Gary Cahill the shot, and then just slots it beyond Thibaut Courtois to give Everton the lead. And, you know, it was a massive goal in the context of it. Cometh the man, cometh the hour. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Got that the wrong way round. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Romelu Lukaku, our top scorer. When he's like that, when you give him the correct service, the kid will score goals. And that, to be honest, that was a goal out of nothing. I mean, Ross Barkley's going to get an assist for that, and he actually played a pass on the halfway line out wide. But Lukaku, absolutely fantastic. Great strength, great awareness, beats him, tucks it in the corner. We're 1-0 up, Goodison erupts. People going off their heads, limbs everywhere. And then Goodison's bouncing, isn't it? And then a few minutes later, we break again. Barkley again, another little good run, little slip inside, and there's Rom to fire us home and fire us to Wembley with his right foot this time underneath court. So I had to look at the lines and thought, was expecting the flag to go up. He was onside. Kennedy, I think, played him onside, but you're always, as an Evertonian, you hold your breath, don't you, until you see the celebration. And that was it, 2-0. And you know, last week we were so nervous, weren't we, at 2-0, and this week the concentration levels, and this is the frustration thing, is that they show today that when their concentration levels are right, they're good enough to beat anybody in the league. And I think this is the reason why, certainly why me and Ped have been fuming, why loads of people have been disappointed and annoyed with Everton this season, is because when they play like that, there's not much better. There isn't much better, and I still think they've got another 5 or 10% to go as well with that. I really, really do. But too often we've been cheap to concede goals, and today there was nothing cheap. They defended absolutely brilliantly. They stuck JT up, up front. Obviously, Gareth Barry done brilliantly in terms of he continued to wind Costa up. He was looking for the scrap. Costa ends up with kind of puts his head in his face, which is an automatic red. The referee didn't see that. Then he grabs him. He looks like he's about to Suarez him, or to me, he looked like he was going to Christopher Lee, sink the altrachelar teeth into his neck. But he doesn't. He kind of pulls out and gives him a kiss on the neck, and then you see him look as if to say, "Yeah, I'm off." He kind of realises and doesn't go through with it. Anyway, he's red carded. And then Gareth Barry, stupidity for such an experienced lad who played really, really well. You've just got the man sent off. You give us that advantage. Fabregas turns him. Just let him go. He's 10, 15 yards inside his own half. Let him turn and then chase him. He kicks out. And it's a red card. There's no question about it. A second yellow. Michael Oliver, 100% correct on that. But, despite them putting Cahill up front and throwing John Terry up front, they had nothing after that, really. They didn't do anything. Stones come on, and we see the game out. Nias come on for a minute. People saying I've just been reading tweets that he could be Aramakachi, Aramakachi for this cup run. Let's hope he is. Let's hope he comes on at Wembley and nets a brace and gets us to the cup final, which we then go on and win, because it has been far too long. We're going to Wembley. Just say that to yourselves. Let that sink in. Everton are back at Wembley 4 years after the debacle against the other crowd. Let's hope we get whoever we get. It doesn't matter. Whoever we get with this set of players, if the concentration levels are right and they play to the performance that they can play to, Everton will win. They can beat anybody on that big pitch. You've still got a bench that's containing Deulofeu, Mo Besic, Nias, Leon Osman. You've still got John Stones. Those players who are all, forget the Osman and Coney shot. But Deulofeu and people like that. Morales will be back then as well for another one. So we go to Wembley with an excellent squad. Excuse me. And let's just hope that this year is the year that we end our way. But that's for another day. We're at Wembley. No, I'm not going to sing. We're at Wembley. We've beaten Chelsea 2-0. Let's enjoy this next few days. And all in the presence of Farhad Moshiri. I'm just glad he witnessed that. I'm glad he's witnessed Goodison Park. I'm glad he's witnessed us turning over a perceived, one of the big boys, if you want to call them that, and shown that Everton, with the right guidance, with a few quid, with a bit of a plan, can compete right up there and get closer to where we need to be, which is that top four, which is challenging for trophies, really. That's what we want to be doing, don't we? Anyway, that's my match reaction. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Don't forget to give us a subscribe. We're at 7,400 odd now. Follow us on Twitter at Toffee TV1, Instagram Toffee TV, Snapchat Toffee TV, Facebook. I don't know the address, but just have a look for Toffee TV and give us a like. We need more likes on Facebook. And basically, that's all from me. Look out for, I'll probably do a player ratings this week. I spat the dummy last week. I will probably do one this week. And look out for me and Ped doing the final word when we break the game down in greater detail. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Toffee TV.